Welcome, people who are joining us for the recording. We forgot to record introductory speeches, but you joined us just in time to kick off our presentations with Kay Best. So Kay, I'm going to spotlight. Paula, I will need to be, I think, co-host maybe to spotlight Kay. Oh, I am a host already. Kay, I think you need to turn your video on and then I can spotlight you. That's why.
Oh man. Okay, I'm on my phone because my laptop died and it's not recharging. So
Here, I just sent you a request to start a video. There should be like a pop-up on your screen.
okay.
There we go.
So you guys are just gonna get a lovely view of my ceiling, if that's okay. So okay.
Do you
So
need help like
diversity.
adjusting yourself in frame?
I can't because I have to hold my phone. It's
Oh, I
really
see.
hard. Um
Okay,
so
so go ahead, all you.
diversity, equity, inclusion, accessibility, and belonging. We all want a seat at the table, right? But for various reasons, we may not be able to sit at that table for whatever reason, incorrect or no braille signage, the table being too high or low or odd to fit a wheelchair, loud or excessive noises, bright lights, and so on. Um, so, as of 2019, the American Community Survey published by see, now I'm getting nervous. Published by the United States Census Bureau says that 12.7% of non institutionalized civilians have a disability. That's a lot of people. And as of now, the ADA is 33 years old, and we're still fighting for that seat at a table. Is it because of our disability, or in spite of our disability? We still have to fight. So my name is Kay Best, and I'm the founder of BRR Consulting, a consulting firm that will be focusing on physical accessibility barriers in small to medium-sized businesses. I was born at 24 weeks with a very slim chance of survival, but here I am. I may be blind, have ADHD, major depressive disorder, and generalized anxiety disorder, but I'm here and surviving and thriving. I'm also a member of the LGBT community. So, because of these various identities, it led me down the path of entrepreneurship. And with BRR Consulting, I will be focusing on doing physical accessibility tests and audits throughout businesses, as well as pop up events such as farmers markets and pride events. It will focus on a lot of just physical things like perhaps having mapping for different vendors at events, because I know when I'm walking around in an event, I like to know where everything is, and having to find everything one at a time can take up a lot of time. And that's time that I want to be spending on things that I really enjoy. I'll also be focusing on sensitivity training for the able bodied community in these businesses on how to interact with a person with a disability. Because, again, we all deserve that seat at the table. My goals moving forward are to begin getting businesses to sign on by December of this year, and then beginning to work on farmers markets starting in January. The reason I'm giving myself that buffer time is to make sure that I have all my ducks in a row and that I am 110% confident in my abilities. That's all. Thank you.
All good, all good. Great job. Did you want to be on camera for the Q&A part of it?
No.
Okay, it's all good.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. I know we're working up to that. So here, I'm going to go ahead and stop your video. But so, Kate, awesome job with your presentation. Folks, what we're going to do now is we're going to open up to Q&A. So do you have any questions about what Kay's business is? Do you have any opportunities that you might want, or they might want to take advantage of? Yeah, feel free to chime in.
Hey, so Kay, I actually really like the idea that, you're also catering towards entrepreneurs with disabilities. So are there special programs that you do, say, let's say someone who's developmentally disabled like I am?
Mhm.
How would that vary from what you would, the kind of consulting services you would give to, say, someone like Nick, who's in a wheelchair? I know for a fact he's in a wheelchair.
Mhm. Well, I would have to, of course, ask you like what you want like in a training. So for your specific disability, like if you would need more time on a certain item, or if you would prefer like a hybrid approach for teaching your employees on things like what to do and not do for that specific group of people.
I see. So you're going to make sure that this is individualized. So there's no real standardized anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, the only standardized things I would have would be like what not to do um with like a wheelchair user. Like you don't grab their wheelchair and just like start pushing because that's rude, right? So it primarily focus on like the do's and don'ts.
Okay. Okay.
Congratulations, Kate. Was lovely, beautiful. Shlok, did you said that I'm going to stop sharing the presentation? Was there a presentation that you were sharing?
No, so Kay was just planning on speaking, but
Okay.
I did the TED Talk style already.
Okay, awesome. So you are planning to go to the small businesses and you're planning to launch it by December, January, beginning with the farmers market. One
Yes.
practical question: where do you stay? Which part of the country are you located in?
I'm in the Southwest, so I currently live in Tucson, Arizona.
Okay, awesome. Okay, this sounds good.
Oh,
Definitely.
and one more, and just one more question, okay?
Go for it.
When it comes to your consultation, um, like how exactly are you pricing all of this?
So I'm going to be, as in regards to like pop-up events, I would be doing maybe like $50 an hour. And then really if I get into like major like gigantic corporations, of course that would be much more. I would say like $100-$200 an hour. But that's only if like I get larger corporations.
Oh, okay. So you are compassionately pricing these. Okay.
Of course.
That's what I really wanted to hear.
Good.
Now,
You have a customer. I think you have a customer right here.
Right.
Hey, this is Laurie, and I wanted to ask if you could help us write a letter to local businesses that different people could use to add more handicap parking spots in front of their areas. I don't know how many they're supposed to have, but we've been to places, and as you know, trying to use a cane or a scooter from the van to our Xfinity store, I have to park in with everybody else. The other
Yeah.
store has disability parking, but Xfinity does not.
Right. Yeah, I can definitely look into that for sure. That would definitely be like in my wheelhouse of advocacy.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much, Kay.
No problem.
Yeah, and Kay, since you were talking about these pop-up events, kind of these smaller farmers markets and things like that, one thing you might also want to consider is conferences and conventions.
Yeah, that is something that I definitely am looking into as well.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, any other questions for Kay before we go on to our next presenter? All right, awesome. Well, give them a round of applause, and then we're going to transition over to Sierra.
I'm gonna get myself unmuted first because I have a habit of not realizing I'm muted and then talking, and that doesn't work very well. And then I'm just gonna move this around and share my screen, and we should be good to go. And then I don't have to look at my own giant face while I'm while I'm presenting. I'll look at my PowerPoint and all of you instead. All right. Screen. Okay. Think you should be seeing my PowerPoint.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay. And of course it moves you guys. So 1 second. Because Zoom likes to hide things. Okay. All right. So thank you, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad that all of you are here. I am Sierra Shipton, and I am the founder of Beautiful Mountain Editing. And my tagline is elevating every voice. A little bit about my story. In 2017, I actually started what is currently Sierra Shipton Writer and Editor with the intent of working for myself as an editor. But I had to set it aside due to life circumstances and, of course, global pandemic and that sort of thing. And I only edited here and there, but I'm at a place now to be able to pick it back up. And in the meantime, I have up-leveled my editing skills and also developed skills related to accessibility that tie into the editing work. So my purpose is to help academics, writers, and business owners scale the mountain of editing their written work to make it beautiful. The problem is that many academic institutions, nonprofits, state and local governments, and small business owners do not have the funding, person power, or expertise to make their materials fully accessible. The solution is that my personal and professional background in academics, nonprofits, and the disability community makes me uniquely qualified to provide accessibility-minded editing and related services. So a little bit about how it works is that I offer editing services to help people reach more of their audience by keeping accessibility in mind. And these include different levels of editing, such as proofreading, which is when something is really ready. I mean, it's ready for print. It's kind of your last go through. Copy editing, which is before that. Developmental editing, which is maybe when you have your first draft and you need to make sure everything fits together and makes sense. As well as academic editing. Not every editor is willing to edit academic work with citations and bibliographies and that sort of thing. And that is something that I'm comfortable with. And also document remediation to make sure that your documents are accessible, both for print and digitally, as well as sensitivity reading of books that are up and coming to make sure that when they involve a character, in my case, it would most likely be a character using a wheelchair, that they're being sensitive to that, and nothing comes across in a way that the writer wouldn't want it to for that community. So some goals and milestones. I have a few here and then a few remain to be seen, but one of my first ones is in November. I want to refresh my website and transition that from the current Sierra Shipton Writer and Editor to the Beautiful Mountain Editing. In December of 2023, I would like to relaunch on social media and sort of officially be like, here's how things are changing. January, we'll see what comes with the new year. Don't have a goal there yet. In February of 2024, ideally, I'd like to be replacing half of my current income with income from my Beautiful Mountain Editing business. March of 2024, that's another kind of to be decided, remains to be seen month. But in April of 2024, my ideal goal would be to be working for myself with Beautiful Mountain Editing full time. And looking ahead, one of the big wins, like Shlok said at the beginning, for me was really getting connected to the community. I was someone who I wanted to do this for a long time, but constantly felt like an entrepreneur on an island and kept going, I have to do all this myself and I'm so overwhelmed. And so getting plugged into Synergies Work and the cohort and everyone here has just made me realize I'm not alone and definitely feel part of a community where I have support. Something that I would see needing help with is my social media. That's one of those things that I can do, but I don't feel like is necessarily in my wheelhouse. And so I'm potentially looking for support with that. And I have some folks that I already know, but I'm of course open to connecting with others that might be able to help in that area. And so just to summarize, my purpose is, again, to help academics, writers, and business owners scale the mountain of editing their written work to make it beautiful. And I offer editing services to help people reach more of their audience by keeping accessibility in mind.
Awesome. Great job, Sarah.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Your purpose statement is one of the ones that I really connect with. I think you nailed it, and it ties into you, your name, and your passion. So really
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm a fan of it, so I like knowing that it comes across to others.
So Yara, so are you part of any writers groups since you write so much? I know you worked as a journalist for a newspaper.
Currently, I am one of the main ones that I'm part of. I'm actually vice president for a Christian Writers Association. I got connected with their writers conference a couple of years ago here in Pennsylvania, and they have a yearly conference. So I am the vice president for that, and I attend conference yearly, and we have meetings throughout the year as we're planning for conference as well.
So that is awesome, because I know if you could also get on to some of the university writers groups, that will open up a lot of doors for you.
Right, that's definitely an opportunity that I'll look into. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, so I heard a little bit about plans for eventual cross-media expansion and multimedia expansion. Heard something very vaguely about that. Can I know more about that, please? Because I'm also interested in developing some video games with some people that I know. And I was wondering, would your platform help with that? Like, would you be willing to what's the word? Be a consultant, be involved with more than just the written word?
Not as much. I do have some skill in that area, but it would be very little. So I wouldn't say that I'm maybe necessarily the best person for that. Mine is much more things like your website or documents, PDFs especially. Those take a lot to make sure that they're accessible for folks who use screen readers or other assistive technology. That is where a lot of my training and experience lies. But as far as video games and coding and that type of thing, I'm not as familiar with that.
So,
and Niles, were you maybe referring to the sensitivity readings that Sarah was mentioning, where if you maybe had a disabled character in a video game, that you would maybe want her to just check the dialogue, for example? Is that kind of what you're referring to, or?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was referring to, and I was also trying to refer to also not just video games. I framed it as video games because this is this is what we know this most as, like interactive media. That video games are the most well-known versions of interactive media, and that's what I was trying to say. But I just switched to video games because I'm thinking, okay, everyone knows what we're talking about when I say interactive media, when I say video games as opposed to interactive media.
Gotcha. Sierra, I had one thing that I wanted to add in. So you had mentioned needing some support on social media. So Synergies Work works with a social media agency that's run by a disabled individual. She's blind, but she also has a copywriter on her team, and there might be use for her to also work with an editor. So we can definitely connect you with her and just see if maybe there's an opportunity to collaborate there because I think you can both bring some value to each other.
That would be great. I'm all about not only receiving value, but obviously I want to bring value to others. So that would be awesome.
Awesome. Very well done.
Thank you.
All right, perfect. So next up, I believe we have Marcus, but I do not see him on here. So that's fine. We can maybe come back to him. He might just be having some tech difficulties. Paula, if you can maybe reach out to him and just make sure everything's okay. Dominique, would you be ready to go? Let's see. Yep, I see you on camera. I'm going to spotlight you.
Yeah, there it is.
And then Dominic, I think you are muted right now. So
okay, I said I don't know how to show my project.
Yep, I've actually got your presentation pulled up, so I'll screen share for you if you want to just talk through it. Would that work?
That would be awesome.
All right, give me just a second. Let me get it up. All right, can everybody see it? Perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, take it away, Dominique.
Good morning, and thank you all. My name is Dominic Hadamil, and this is my project. I'd like to say welcome to Dominique's Barbershop. My name is Dominique Hadamil. I started cutting hair at 13. I graduated barber school December of 1997. In the spring of 1998, following the passing of my beloved childhood barber, Mr. C.C. Nichols, I took over assuming role of owner-operator of Dominique's Barbershop, where I cut hair until 2021. Unfortunately, due to the 2020 pandemic, I was forced to lose that location. Still walking in the legacy of Mr. Nick, my sights are set reopening in a new location across the street so that I may reacquaint and continue to serve the community through barbering, which has embraced me all these years. My purpose statement is keeping in the tradition of classic barbering, serving the community for over 60 years. That's me and my barber right there. The problem, reconnecting. Getting word out that I am available for haircuts and services. Having been away and out of touch with clients due to my absence at my former location, it's been a challenge for us to connect and keep up with hair care. Therefore, it is time to keep up with the times. I intend to join social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Booksy. The solution. Like, share, subscribing to my Facebook and Instagram for updates on access and availability to me for haircuts and services, and news of what's going on at my shop and community events which I support and participate. Continuity. How it works. Barber services. Appointments to keep up with scheduling. Specializing in shape-ups either with razor or clippers for maximum straight edges without the use of a ruler. Custom freehand designs and beard trims included with most services. Personalized attention, good experience, skills with small children and autistic clients, technique of allowing them to hold, exam, and turn on and off clippers to show them there is no harm. Specialized skills, great understanding of ethnic hair and hair care, line of products specifically for natural looks. Goals and milestones. By November of 2023, which is fast approaching, I intend to start social media and joining platforms I mentioned. By December, I want to decide on the layout of shop and the functionality. By January, I want to start thinking about budget, plan, source, and source supplies. Looking ahead, well, I'm in a good space. I have a property. What opportunities exist? Opening and operating a barbershop again. What wins did I experience? Feeling motivated and fearless with all the new tools I acquired. The people who were in class with me, also the instructors, were great. Where I am stuck, reorganization and setting up social media. The haircut is free. You pay for the bullshit.
All right, great work, Dominique.
Say you ended the whole presentation with a laughter, which was so good. Your presentation had great style, great finish
Thank
to
you.
it.
Thank you.
Just a couple of questions for you, Dominique. It's such a
Sure,
powerful
man.
project. It's a business, not a project. You use the word project, but you are setting up your own business, right?
Yeah.
You have been a barber all your life. Tell me what distinguishes you from the 5 other barbers in your neighborhood?
Well, the difference between me and the 5 other barbers, one thing that I can't say is I believe barbers are born, not made. You know, it's either in you or you don't have it. You know what I mean? And the propensity I have towards the clientele and the community separates me because, I mean, anybody can cut your hair, but not everybody can be a barber. It's a real intimate thing, and we share intimate space, and we coincide throughout life because I get you ready for uh, baptisms, graduations, birthdays, retirement parties, the girl you want to date, you know, your marriage, even in death. I come and cut your hair before they put you away in the ground, you know. So I'm a real I'm loyal as a barber, and I feel it's my
Therein
duty.
lies your strength.
Yes,
So
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So when you talk about getting back into the community, you said one of your problems was that you've been away too long. But I think you might have been out of sight, but I'm sure your clients have not put you out of their mind.
I agree.
I totally hear you when you say that the barbers are anybody can cut hair, but might not be your hairstyle. 20 years, and she is part of my life.
Right.
And I totally hear that. You are the person who makes everyone beautiful. Okay,
Right.
people find their own beauty. And if you can take that and put it into your purpose statement and in everything that you do, you're not cutting here, you said it yourself. You are helping people find beauty in themselves. And that's a powerful thing that you do.
Thank you.
Very powerful work.
Because you just mentioned that you're a hairdresser for 20 years. I wonder how many styles she's taken you through, how many different trends and how many different fads and different looks and told you what looks good on you and you told her
I
and
never questioned her.
what she wanted to do. You know what I mean? And you still look great, you know? Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hey, it's not really a question so much as a statement. I really like the focus on community, including even people, autistic people in that community as well. That's if I would have to pick a barber, I would pick you because of the fact that you understood that I have a disability. And, I might need a little chance to adjust to the razor because being honest, no, I don't really like the sound of a razor, especially like this on my head here, because I physically feel that, and that's never a feeling.
Got you.
But you would understand that you wouldn't, you would understand I have to brace myself before I get my hair cut, maybe even put in my earplugs.
Absolutely.
And my barber kind of sort of understands that now. I've been with him since I was a kid. He's taken me through multiple hairstyles, and even when I started losing my hair because I put all those chemicals in my head.
Yeah.
he helped me repair my hair, basically my hair follicles, and he's okay. He does his job, but it's clear he's from the older school generation that doesn't really understand mental disabilities, developmental disabilities, anything like that. They just say, just why don't you just try and be a little bit normal? Why do you have to brace yourself all the time? And I understand that he's never really had to deal with it like that, but I'm glad that you do, because if you did, I would choose you over him, actually.
Wow. Well, if only, but it's like a thing. He's probably from the generation where they didn't have a voice and they're very silent. You know what I mean? So that's a different, like, generation of what I'm dealing with now. Like, you're talking about, like, since you were a kid, I got guys that are 35, and I used to wipe their nose for them when they used to get in the chair. 34, they little boys, 2 and 3 years old. Now they're 29, 31, married with kids. It's a real honor and privilege to serve in my community.
And Dominique, one thing I wanted to add, just the way you present and the way you're speaking, I think you're just you're a wonderful storyteller.
I am.
And I think when you were talking about, hey, I'm there for you from when you're meeting your girl all the way to your funeral, I think the way you said that was just so eloquent and conjured up an image. And I think even in your presentation, what Niles connected with when he was talking about you working with people who are on the spectrum, you didn't just say, hey, I work with them. You specifically pointed out that, hey, I will show you what the clipper looks like, how it works. I think that illustration, the way you paint that picture is powerful. And I think when you're pitching your business, that's what's really going to help you stand out. If I listen to you talk for 60 seconds about being there for somebody all throughout their life, that'll make me choose your barbershop over your special cut of the week.
I appreciate that.
This is Mel. I was just gonna say or second that as well, that I definitely think, you can tell the passion that you have and the way that you speak. And because you're such a great storyteller, I know we're not solutionizing here, but I could even see you sharing little, bits of the tidbits of why this is so much of your passion through social media, right? Like people get to know you and it's like they want to be a part of that. So great job.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
This is Bridget. Dominic, I've been enchanted with your story, your barbershop from the very beginning when you talked about the barbershop being the cornerstone of the community. I relate to that. I really do.
I appreciate that.
Yes, I do. I remember when I was 12, I all my hair came out. And so I had to go to the barbershop with my father. And that was kind of my first glimpse at it. And after my hair grew back, I still wanted to go back. But, as you talked about your business, all of these 7 weeks, you've been the one that I have kind of compared and contrasted my own business with, because you've spoken so many good things. That cornerstone of the community, oh my goodness, that deserves to be on the building somewhere. That's a very bold and impactful statement.
I appreciate that.
Great job.
This is Kay. Dominique, you rocked. I love your vibe, and just you ooze passion for being a barber, and I really, really dig that. And can I come to you?
Absolutely. You're more than welcome. Just like she just mentioned the story about being a little girl. I've had little girls where they cut their own hair and we had to lower their hair so it would look decent for them to go to school and stuff. I've met so many people, and I mean, it's something that I can't even talk about it with dry eyes. It chokes me up, because it's in the bottoms. It's like it's my whole being.
And that definitely comes through in your voice. You just radiate pride for being a barber, and I really, really love that. So thank you for sharing.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks everyone. Dominique, that was beautiful. I think we all made Dominique cry a little bit. So.
Oh, big time, man! I can't even hold it back, man. It's rough, man. It's just I just have all these flashbacks and images in my head of different people. Like when she said that, I thought about somebody, you know? Like I remember cutting this little girl's hair. She plays basketball for a college now. Like she's big time, you know? But yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic work.
Thank you.
Next
Thank
up, we have Lori and Chrissy. Lori, are y'all ready? Because I did see you jumping in and let's see.
There I am.
There we go. All right, Lori. So I'm gonna need you just to turn on your camera. I've got your presentation pulled up so I can share it for you.
Hold on just a minute. Turn on, turn off. What am I doing?
Turn on your camera because I got it's a spotlight. You need to, yeah.
I'm sorry. Is that it?
Yep. There we go. And you should be spotlighted for everybody. All right, perfect.
There we go.
All right, whenever you're ready. And Lori's presenting on behalf of her daughter, Chrissy, who wasn't feeling up for it today. But Chrissy might be joining us and saying hi at some point, I believe.
She's on the couch. Okay.
All right. Perfect. So
Hi.
whenever you're ready.
All right. Hi, my name is Chrissy Sykes, and I'm the founder of Happy Tears, and I make and sell soaps. My purpose is creating moments of happiness and joy with friends and family and new friends, my customers. Happy Tears is more than just soap. It's a reminder to each customer that someone cares about them. Happy Tears offers soaps made of either shea butter, goat's milk, glycerin, and oatmeal, which are natural. This will help people of all ages and nationalities with ingredients for sensitive skin. Our soaps have scents and shapes to remind you of fall and Thanksgiving, Christmas, and flowers for spring. We even have scents and shells to bring you to the beach. We make this in silicone molds, and we'll hope to buy more molds to expand our flair. My nephew and nieces always try to eat their little bitty soaps because they look like little desserts or candies. I even sent soaps to Nigeria with my cousin Mackenzie. She went there to help kids at an orphanage, and the mom started a business there. It was so cute seeing the pictures of the children holding up their little baggie, each with their own personal soaps, which they never get. And we will continue to do this. Chrissy's story. Happy Tears art brings joy to me now that I want to share it with you. I was born with apraxia of speech and language and other differences, so I was put in special education. Chrissy was born with developmental disabilities, intellectual disabilities, hypotonia. She's now type 2 diabetic. She lives with depression. She lives with psychosis. She lives with anxiety. Just goes on and on. But as I was saying, she was put in special ed classes. This made her so mad because she knew she was different and she wanted to be and play with so-called normal kids. She was bullied since she was in 5th grade. Most kids just don't understand we are all different in many ways. They will never know her problems and all the depression and anxiety she lives with today. Chrissy makes soaps as a hobby, and she also painted as a hobby. We have lots of hobbies with little crafts and things. She used to give her soaps and paintings to all her family for their birthdays, and all her counselors, their secretaries, and all the doctors have original paintings and original soap. Everyone said, you should sell your soaps and art. So one day, my mom and I were talking to her friend Corey. Corey is Chrissy's community access individual. And how to start a business. Corey has a little business. Hope is Real is Corey's business. This made Chrissy so happy, she started to cry and just cry. When she realized she could do something like so-called regular people. She could start a business. So I asked her, me, Lori, her mom, I asked her, why was she crying? And she told me these were happy tears. So this is how her company name was founded, Happy Tears. And of course, the problem statement, that's a friend. She's giving paintings away. There's some old paintings, all of her different things. That's one of her new counselors. She'll ask people, what are your favorite colors? And then she just goes to town up close and through the light. They're absolutely amazing. Many people have sensitive skins and hands. Regular soaps can irritate your face and your hands. They just cause itching, and that is such a problem. Regular soaps can be so unbearable and just no fun. The solution. My soaps can be a solution for all these people. Remember how she told you her soaps are made from natural ingredients: shea butter, goat's milk, glycerin, and oatmeal, all hypoallergenic products. How it all works. To find Chrissy Soaps, you'll be able to look her up online. That will be easy peasy without leaving your home from the comfort of your couch. Happytears.com. And we'll have to make this up later with Zen, won't we? Her email address. This will take you to her landing page, and then you can find her link that you're most comfortable with, because you know there's so many links out there. Okay. Chrissy's goals. By November, she will have decided where we will sell our soaps. By January, she will know our first product listing for Valentine's Day on Shopify. And we will have contacted Kim is her name, on Home Shopping Network to establish a partnership to use her art on her clothing line. We will also have partnership with Printful. That's one of our main goals. So we're continuing with those goals, continuing with our dateline. And a milestone I forgot to say, Chrissy did a map a while back, and one of them was complete the Synergies Work program, and we have just done that. That was fantastic. So, a summary. Chrissy Sykes is the founder of Happy Tears with just giant ideas to empower. Wait a minute, stay back there. Go back one. To empower her future, her employees, and her customers' future by bringing them joy and happiness through her soaps and clothing line. Looking ahead, she will find a way to print her art on clothing. We will apply for the Synergies Work grant, and we are looking for sponsorship. We will need help working through all of these little problems, and we will continue in company with all our new friends and working with Synergy and Paula and with Schlock. We have just more than thoroughly enjoyed all of this, and both Chrissy and I have thoroughly enjoyed this and learned so much. We are so excited to have been part of this program, Synergies Work, igniting ideas, right? Thank you so much.
All right, awesome work, Chrissy and Lori. Chrissy, I didn't know why you were nervous. That was great. You guys put in a ton of work on that.
Yes, we did. And Paula helped us.
Perfect.
So about those.
Go ahead, Mal. So just real quick, guys, before you're chiming in, just announce who it is, just in case anybody's not able to see the video. So go ahead.
Okay, this is Niles Valentine, and I see a lot of soaps here, like what kind of soaps? Just more than just body soaps, right? Like you do shampoos as well, right?
No, not yet. We do not. We're trying to stay very basic and simple so we can keep up with just this right now.
Are shampoos and conditioners, like, could those be in the future?
They could be. Yes, they could be. Also, bath bombs could be in our future. Christy right now loves to spend all her money on Lush, if you're familiar with that store.
Lord have mercy.
She saves all her little containers and goes back to have them put more products in there.
Okay, that sounds a little okay. So that sounds a little bit better than what I was thinking. All right.
There
She's
you go.
smart about that, at least.
Yes, sir.
This is Kay.
Hi.
Hey, so I was wondering about packaging for the soaps. Will there be any like large print or braille on the packaging, just to be able to distinguish like which soap is which scent and things like that?
That is a fantastic idea, and I will actually partner with somebody through the Where did I used to work, Chrissy? No, the other place. I've worked with NAMI Georgia, National Alliance on Mental Illness. I worked at a little school that actually worked with just special needs children and special needs adults. And Kay, I actually worked. Yeah, I worked at Monarch with the older adults, and one gentleman, young man, was blind, and they'd send up at the mall, let us go. And when I used to take my glasses off, I was, 2,500. So it was the blind leading the blind, and we had a card printer, and we would see who could read it the first, him or me. And we talked about that Braille a lot. So I know that he's got a machine. That's a great suggestion. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
And
Well,
Victoria, your hand up.
Yeah, so hi, Chrissy. I actually used to have my own soap making business back in like
Awesome.
2012. I did cold process, so like the whole thing, creating it from oils and things like that. So I think your soaps are gorgeous. I did want to give you just a caution about making any cosmetic claims for your soaps, like saying it's for sensitive skin, because when I was doing it, the FDA said if you make any cosmetic claim, then you need to do all sorts of funky labeling on your soaps.
Yes, I talked with Schlock about the labeling because of the ingredients from the the blocks you use is right now what we're using to keep it one mold at a time, so to speak. And I can print the block or copy the ingredients from behind and then go from there on the label.
Yeah, but then if you make any kind of cosmetic claim, it may turn it from a soap into a drug, and you definitely don't want that, because then you have to do testing and all that junk. So I would just advise you to look up the claims that you can make with soap. I just don't want you to get in trouble. That's all.
Oh, thank you so much, because I didn't realize that was our problem and our solution. So now we have to find our problem now is setting up our office, cleaning it out so we have a place to make them all by themselves where it's not just in the kitchen.
Yeah, but you might want to check and see if there's soap making groups on like Facebook or something, and there should be people that you can ask questions and just get find a community to chat with about soap making, because it's really fun.
Oh, it is.
The other thing I wanted to offer was that I do have some old things from when I had my account. I'd be happy to send them to Chrissy if she would like them. Like I said, I did cold process. So I know you do melt and pour, but I have like dried herbs, I have colorants, I have mica powders, I have so many scents. If you would like any of those, I am happy to send them to you. So by all means, let me know.
Yes, we'll have to get back with you tomorrow, this weekend, about all that. Okay. Well, our contact information should be on there.
Yeah, I'll get in touch with you, and then we'll get them over to you, because I'd love to see it get used.
Because some of the colors in her soaps, when she gets going, it's like when she helps me cook. She uses every spice there is and has a very heavy hand. We make the best spaghetti sauce around, because we even put some cinnamon in our spaghetti sauce, so it's delicious.
Nice.
Whoop, my phone fell. Sorry.
That's right. We'll get you some goodies, and I just want to say good job on the presentation. It was great, and I just wish you the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome.
But Shlok, is there a connection that you are making between Laurie's and Trev Trades?
Yep, I was just going to mention that. So we have another founder who also does soaps, and they've been doing this for a few years now. They've kind of gotten really big in the last year, and I think that might be a worthwhile connection where maybe you can even ask some of these questions that you have about
exactly. And I've read all about him and looked at him everywhere and saw his TikTok information. And he's in California now, because I thought he was close by. But I saw that he came here and won an award from Synergies Work. I was so impressed. That was fantastic. So he'll have to teach us how to do that too. Chrissy would love that.
Yeah, we'll make that connection for you, definitely.
Thank you.
Awesome. Fantastic work, y'all. So I think for the sake of time, we had kind of a tentative break scheduled, but I think we'll just kind of keep going so we can stay on top of things. So Bridget, I believe you're next if you're ready.
And I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to jump off really quick and handle something, but I do plan to come back.
Okay, no worries here. All good.
I did it, Chrissy.
Okay, Bridget, I have just put you on Spotlight, and I got your ad downloaded. So I think once you wrap up, I can go ahead and play that for everybody.
Okay, at the end, right after I do my
Correct,
goal.
correct.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Determined. I'm determined to be all I can be. Yes, the load to tow is heavy, but I'll carry it with great glee. And though I did not ask to be a member, I will humbly pay the fee. I'll pay with my courage, with my strength, and with my endurance. I'll have my voice speak clear and loud for the cause, offering us all reassurance, assuring that if I'm dedicated, determined, and dependable, like Fox 5 News, the sky's the limit and we can choose to live a life of dignity, respect, a life with meaning and purpose, a life upon which one can reflect on the good and not the bad, a life many will wish they had. You see, it's about overcoming obstacles, accepting the happy and the sad, striving with genuine intent, no fad. Understand this. Determination has me by the neck. I'm moving on with life in this white cane, trying not to wreck. I can't look back, but I must double check. I'm going full speed ahead, trying to make it in under 60 sec. I'll proclaim it again and again and again. I'm determined to be all I can be. It's my personal decree. I'm focused. I'm ready. Nothing will deter me. And with or without sight, I will not flee. I'll stand firm and rooted like that of an oak tree as I continue to be all I can be. Determined. Well, that's me. And now that that's been stated, greetings. My name is Bridget Suttle. I am the CEO, creative, and founder, igniting the idea of Subtle Talks, where I use my voice to speak light. Frustrated with the icy tones of Siri and Alexa, tired of the same old murky, mundane, monotone voiceover. Ever wonder, is there a pulse? Where's the heart? What about the spark? Well, you can find all that and more right here. You see, at Subtle Talks, we provide one-of-a-kind voice solutions that support instructional e-learning, interactive voice response phone systems, virtual assistants, GPS, and more. We offer a unique, crystal clear voice that we believe will positively impact our customers' business, as well as provide daily peace of mind. And now you may wonder, well, how do we do that? Well, by understanding our customers' needs, our customers' wants, and our customers' vision. Over here at Subtle Talks, every spoken word has heart and every recorded word has spark. Now, just to move us just a little bit, right now, the voiceover industry is valued at $1.5 billion. It's estimated to grow by 2026 to $2.3 billion. Now, for me, money is not the entire motive. Understand, I have my whole purpose, my whole piece, my whole passion is for voiceover. However, the notion of financial independence, financial freedom, the notion of being able to give back to supporters, people, organizations, agencies that help me along the way as a person with a disability, a person who had lost sight, and a person who had lost her foot. Oh my goodness, the notion of that, that's like the cherry on top. And so you may even wonder, well, you know what, Bridget, why are you qualified? Why would we trust you with our voiceover needs? Well, I believe my life's journey has led me on this path to venture voiceover. For many years, I used my voice as a corporate trainer, where I educated and helped others to gain knowledge as it related to customer relations. For the last 13 years, I've used my voice as a peer counselor and leader, articulating the wants and advocating for the needs and rights of the blind and sight impaired community. So what do you have here? You have my passion for voiceover, as well as my professional experience and my commitment to social impact, I hope that would lead you to believe that I am just the candidate to handle your voiceover needs. Um, I'm sorry, guys, I lost my place, but I just hope you guys see that I could certainly be the candidate to handle those needs. I'd even say that Subtle Talks, in my opinion, will be a blind force, sure to take the world of voice artistry by storm. And what I'll say is, come feel the pulse. Listen as your words come alive with the voice crafted and designed for your peace of mind. And so now what I'll do is I'll get into my goals. I do have some goals. My immediate goal is to get my in-home studio up and running. My short-term goal is to, in 3 to 6 months, go ahead and launch. My long-term goal is to be able to create opportunities for other sight impaired and blind individuals who may be interested in the voiceover business. What has been given me is an opportunity to come into a studio without having to, without having funding, without having anything, just a desire to want to hear my voice recorded. And so I'd like to give that back to other individuals who may be interested in the same thing. Now, my obstacles, not having that in-home studio is a major obstacle. If inspiration strikes me at 2 or 3 in the morning, it'd be wonderful to go over and pad over to my in-home studio, because then I can get the emotion, I can get the inspiration. Now, when that happens, I have to try and remember. I make as many notes as I can so that I can pull that emotion if I have to go into someone else's studio. And I am grateful. I do have that available to me. I have 2 studios where I can go and record. I have 2 producers, 2 editors that are willing to help me and work with me, but I really need that in-home studio. My other obstacle is I am still learning the ins and outs, the logistics of running a successful small business. I know that marketing, that may be an obstacle. Social media, that may be an obstacle. What am I doing for that? I am actually talking to other people who also have small businesses, finding out how they market, finding out how they actually run their social media outlets. I'm also talking to people who are also in the voiceover industry, finding out those same things. So I believe those are my obstacles. My opportunities, well, I am a Showability actor and ambassador, and Showability is an organization that matches people with visible and invisible disabilities to the entertainment industry. Now, through Showability, I have had numerous opportunities to perform my spoken word. I've even had an opportunity to co-host a radio show at WIGO, which is talk radio. Now, I think the biggest opportunity to date is the one I'm going to tell you about. Now, I had an opportunity to work with one of our cohorts, Jasmine Duffy. Jasmine has her own music production studio. She also has her own printing company. Well, Jazz said to me, she said, listen, I need a commercial. And I said, well, Jazz, I don't know if I can do a commercial. She said, you know what? I believe that you can certainly do a commercial. So Jazz and I got together in her studio, and I'd like you all to hear what we were able to come up with and what we created.
What up, entrepreneurs? Quick question. Why have a brand and not rock it? Why have a business and not shop it? Why have a line and not drop it? Come on over to BBA Printing and we'll show you how to market. At BBA Printing, we believe your brand should be worn with pride. So come and let us turn your vision into customized, eye-catching apparel. Whether you're a startup or established business, our custom prints are the perfect way to make a statement. So come on over to BBA Printing, where style meets substance, and allow us to bring your brand to life one shirt at a time.
And so if you would like to get in contact with me, you can certainly reach me at bsuttlebaby772@gmail.com. And subtle is spelled SU, T is in tango, T is in tango, LE. Again, that is bsuttlebaby772@gmail.com. You can also reach me at bridgetsuttle@linkedin.com. My phone number, 404-573-0280. Thank you.
Awesome.
All
What
right.
an impact. What an impact you made with your voice.
That
And
was great
yeah,
energy.
yeah, and
Fantastic.
we
You
love you
sound
because you've
amazing.
partnered with Jasmine, who is
Yes,
a
yes.
favorite.
And Bridget, I don't know if you know,
Bridget.
but Mel, who's here, has been Jasmine's mentor for probably a little over a
Yes.
year now. So Mel knows Jasmine very well.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So it's
Wow.
awesome to hear you guys working together. That's really cool.
You did absolutely fantastic. That was you actually. I don't know if you. I don't know her last name, but her first name is Yolanda, and she is big in this voiceover business. In fact, I think she's the announcer for the Sherry Shepherd show. You
Oh,
remind me
wow.
so much of
No,
her.
You sound like the lady on KBLA.
Yeah,
Millionaire
yeah,
Roundtable.
that's what I was gonna say
The
too. I
Millionaire
mean, you're just so
Roundtable on Travis
fantastic. I
Smiley's
love it.
radio station.
Bridget, this
sound
is
good.
Kay.
I
Yes.
want you to do my commercial.
I most certainly will, Dominic. I will. It'll be my honor.
Bridget, this is Kay.
Yes.
My mouth was hanging open at that commercial. It was phenomenal.
Thank you.
I wish my voice was better right now, honestly. But the way that you did that commercial and just overall presentation for your business was fantastic, and I really want to work with you in the future.
I'd love to. I'd love to.
So we had a voiceover artist go through our program a couple of years back, I would say.
Yep. So I've actually connected Bridget and Daniel. I think you guys had spoken like earlier in the year, if I remember correctly.
We did. We actually did speak earlier in the year. We did.
But we can make a connection to the mentor that Dan had, who is a known voiceover artist here in Atlanta. And that might be more, I think, helpful for you. One thing that I would suggest here, Shlok, we can talk about it later. This is such a great collaboration between two of our founders, Bridget and Jasmine. Why not put it out on our blast it on our email list, on our social media to show what a community we have here, which is full of talent and they're ready to partner together. We can definitely do that. I think it is awesome that you found each other. And I know your face name sounds so familiar. I am sure whether it is through Miranda or any other.
No, I'll tell you. And Artie, I'm so very grateful to you. I tried this a little time ago. I tried to become a part of the Synergies Work program, and you told me, you said you have no clarity. And I have thought of that. And as I put my presentation together, as I've been putting my business together, I've been thinking of clarity. And I thank you for telling me that. I did not receive it well when you told me initially, but I understand now exactly what you mean. And the more things, the more clarity that there is, the easier it is to state exactly what it is that I'm trying to do. So I thank you for that bit of advice. I still carry it with me. And when I need to say it, I say it in your voice so that I remember that this is exactly what you need. So thank you for that bit of advice. I carry it with me everywhere I go, and every time I pull a project out, I carry it. So thank you very much.
I am so glad that it became positive. I am like, oh shit, I don't know what I must have said to you. Sorry. You turned it into a positive. I'm so grateful.
I needed that though. I really needed to hear that because I was all over the place and I did not know you know, all I knew, all I've wanted to do is just speak. I use my voice to speak light. I've always wanted to do that. And so I was in a million different buckets, and you helped me to put what I want to do in one or two buckets as opposed to a million buckets. So I needed to hear that. So it was just on time.
I think you have a magic now in your voice. I have to say that.
Bridget, one thing I was going to recommend before we close out is now that you've got that commercial, I mean, that commercial was beautiful. I think if I heard that, in the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be surprised, right? So what I would really recommend is maybe looking at different either radio companies, because there's a lot of radio advertising companies. I used to work in the Atlanta area, and there's various radio companies that are going to reach out, working with local businesses who are doing their ads, and they're always looking for voiceovers that are unique and that really help you stand out. And then to complement that as well, if you reach out to some of the bigger media companies, so like Cox, Comcast, they all have a presence in Atlanta that's pretty heavy. And they're constantly working with local businesses and helping them build ads. And I know when I've worked with Comcast's media side in the past, they actually call on local voiceover artists, local talent, actors, because you would have to work with a local business. So they try to keep everybody within that region. So it might be worth just putting together, a portfolio, a demo reel, and then just sending it out to these folks so you can be on their list.
You know what? As a matter of fact, I'm glad you said that. Jazz and I, that's our next project, is putting together my demo reel, because that is the one thing I'm missing. And I meant to say my other obstacle, I am in desperate need of voice coaching. There's some things I know how to do with my voice. What you hear is just raw, untrained talent. I love Kay's voice. I'd like to be able to, when I need to go soft, I'd like to be able to do that. My voice is very matter of fact, very strong. And so I definitely need that voice coaching. And so, but I'm taking all of this in. I'm actually recording also, so I can go back and listen to the suggestions and hopefully make some things happen. So thank you for that.
Awesome. Fantastic work. That was great.
Thank you.
Right. So next up, we got Sylvia. So Sylvia has actually made a video, which I'm going to pull up in just a second and share with y'all. And then Sylvia will go into your Q&A right after, if that's cool. All right, I'm going to go ahead and spotlight you so we can all see you. And then let's pull up the video. Oh, give me just a second. I think I forgot to include the audio. All right, I'm going to kick it off.
Hi, I'm Sylvia, and I'm the founder of PowerPod Studios. What is PowerPod Studios? The purpose of PowerPod Studios is to create a thriving, accessible community and business of neurodiverse artists that create exciting media while supporting each other ethically and making fun, exciting, expressive art and stories that connect to the heart. Art for me has always been a way of expressing my feelings, a way of therapy, relieving myself of stress and anxiety, and a way of showing off my creativity. PowerPod Studios offers art commissions, art tutorials, and podcast tutorials as well to help people become creative as well. How will PowerPod Studios help people? As a person on the spectrum, it's hard to communicate because of society, social anxiety, and it's not easy to get into any art school, let alone any college or job. As some accommodations and also funding is hard to access. I want people to feel they can be creative in any environment without feeling like they are being told they cannot do this because of this disability or that disability. My art, along with my stories I make, will also represent different races of people, different disabilities and sexualities. Also, PowerPod Studios interested in bringing people together to help other collaborated projects and businesses strive as both a digital online business and influencing group. who feels it's fair for people on the spectrum to not be overworked, overwhelmed with tight schedules, or stressed, as that's what a lot of businesses tend to do. What was my first story? My first story was War of the Fangs, being 12 or 13 at the time with my first device. I studied learning and wanted to write and draw. Sadly, my story never got far because my tablet broke. But after that accident, it didn't stop me from being creative. And I learned to keep moving forward and learn to make something new as times pass. What is the goal of PowerPaw Studios? So you may know a theme with my art. Yeah, I get that a lot. So anyways, if you're wondering, yes, I'm a furry, but I've explored other arts such as landscaping, learning to draw anime and chibi recently, which is similar to anime but a smaller version. While I work on an MMORPG and graphic novel, what if the person buying a convention because they are in a wheelchair? People that are neurodiverse and disabled do not get enough money as it is already to travel to the biggest conventions or let alone pay for it. I decided I wanted to make a VR game called Spec for people that are disabled and also on the spectrum. Spectre will be similar to VR Chat and Resonite, except for that the fact it will have settings for both blind, mute, and deaf people, both furries and non-furries. It'll be used for meetings, meetups, conventions, and hangouts with friends. It's come to think of it, more and more people are diagnosed with impairments and neurodiverse and need assistance. Of course, with most computers nowadays, there's screen readers and audio descriptors. So one day, I hope PowerPoint will be able to help people with disabled and neurodiverse community be able to connect in VR with the right accessibilities. By the next year in summer, I'd like to have PowerPoint Studios' first chapter of our graphic novel out, along with the closed beta of our MMORPG as well. See ya soon.
Right, Sylvia, awesome.
Awesome, very creative. I loved all the painting, the drawing while you're doing everything. That's fantastic. I can't even write on the computer anymore. So that to me was fantastic. Coloring as you go. Very creative.
And there's a lot of information there. So I get the feeling that, did you like speed up your voice in there? Because I was like, holy crap, I'm trying to keep up with all this.
A little bit.
I just have to say that it's good that you're starting a studio for people who are neurodivergent, just like me, who want to get into, say, the multimedia industry, the gaming industry, stuff like that. It's good that we're finally bringing awareness to this. So, Sierra, we might have found somebody who could help you with this, what I mentioned earlier.
It's possible, yes. We're all making connections for sure.
And Sylvia, one thing that I did want to know, and I thought was really impressive about your presentation, is that you're using the skill and you're learning, and you've kind of outlined your steps where, you know, your first step is to get that first chapter of your graphic novel, but you're also looking forward and dreaming big and thinking about this virtual community that you want to get to one day. So I love that you have, you know, attainable goals, but that you also shared with us your vision for the future, and that meant a lot.
Sylvia, can you talk a little bit more about, you had mentioned doing like classes for art, for podcasting. Can you just talk a little bit more about that?
Yes, so basically on my coffee shop, you can see like on my first art lesson video, along with a couple of reference sheets to help you learn how to draw a little better if you're just starting out on, like, say, a computer or paper. And you can learn from like other resources that I've listed in that video as well.
So where can I find this? Where is your you have a website, you said?
Yes. Unfortunately, when I was making a video, none of the links appeared at the end of the video, so I'm just gonna put it in the chat.
I'm sorry, I did not completely understand. Okay, it's here.
So Sylvia's just put the links in the chat.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. I think it was a very creative way of expressing what you do. Maybe, as Shloka was saying, I was trying to catch up with your voice and the visual at the same time. So that was the only thing. It was too fast for me. I'm a slow. Maybe if you can just slow your pace a little so that we can understand it better. I know most of you have been listening to you, so they understood. I therefore need to go to your website a little better, but very creative.
Yeah, Sylvia, and I'm really impressed that you've already got the art lessons up there. I know I think it's only been like maybe 2 or 3 weeks since you started talking about giving them, and now that you're already offering them, I see them on your coffee page. So that's great. And I'd love to see, once you start giving those lessons, it's always good to get like feedback and testimonials that you can say, hey, I worked with this person and this is what they said about my lessons. So definitely keep that in mind, especially in the earlier phases.
These art lessons are for a specific age group, or they are open to everybody?
For everybody.
To everybody. So if I understand correct, Shlok, people like Derek Hurd, they're using this kind of media to create art.
So I think what Sylvia does, and Sylvia, correct me if I'm wrong, it's unique, is you're focusing on digital media and digital creation, and then also the animation side of things. So, people who might be familiar with, creating digital media, but they haven't done any sort of animation before, they could go in Sylvia's class and learn, how do I turn what I'm already making into an animation easily? Because she's not using any like special tools or anything. I believe, Sylvia, you use just PowerPoint, and you can walk them through how to do it pretty easily, right?
Right.
Is it something that is being taught a lot in the market today, or is it very unique? Is it a niche?
You say it again, please?
I'm sorry?
Can you repeat that?
No, I said, is it a niche? Is it something very easily available to people, or what you are presenting? Is it like, where does it fit in the market space? Is it a very competitive market? Is it a niche market? Is it expensive? Is it cheap?
It seems very competitive in my opinion, because wherever I go, people are like making art, and they can sell it for a lot of money, or just they'll have like some art raffles and giveaways and stuff like that.
So Sylvia, I think one thing that might help you stand out is your focus on neurodiverse folks. If you're talking about giving art lessons, and specifically for neurodiverse individuals, I think being a neurodiverse person yourself, being able to give those lessons and connect with the person who's receiving them is going to go a lot better. I'm sure there's other animation like classes I can take. I'm sure there's online stuff I can sign up for. But if you're pitching it, I think saying, hey, I am neurodiverse myself, and I have a focus on serving this community, that could really help you stand out.
It would also be helpful if you are pitching to a younger age group, because as parents are exploring different options, there is a connection right there with you. And so summer classes, talking to schools, talking to disability organizations that are plugging into different communities and putting yourself right there as a resource would be very helpful. So define your age group. Yes, it doesn't mean that a person like me cannot come and join your group, but you should have a specific age group also, where you can then target better the community.
The age group is like about 15 and older. It's like the recommended age group that I have.
Yeah, that's the time when people are really exploring options. That's the transitional age, as they say, because you're exploring, what do I want to do as I get into high school? What courses I'm doing to do? What am I going to do outside after I graduate? So this is a perfect 2-month program that I can join during the summers and learn more, if this is an option for me.
Sylvia, this is Kay. I have a question. Would you be also offering like 2D and 3D models for Twitch streamers?
Most I can do is 2D at the moment. I didn't really explore my options in 3D yet.
Okay, cool. I mean, that's something to look into further down the road, but I really loved your presentation too. Everyone's doing so well.
Awesome. Well, any other questions for Sylvia before we go on to our next person? All righty. So next up we have Victoria. So Victoria, I'm going to spotlight you. Oh, I think you'll need to turn your camera on for me to spotlight. There we go. All right. And I do have your presentation if you want me to screen share. Otherwise, if you're comfortable, you're welcome to do it yourself as well.
Oh, you can share mine. That's fine.
Okay. Give me just a second to pull it up.
So my name is Victoria Spain, and I'm based in Iowa. I am the owner of Divergent Stitches. I have had this sewing business since 2020 is roughly when I learned to sew. And then I started working with neurodivergent artists last year, 2022. It all began because my son is ADHD and he's an amazing artist. And he drew me some cats that I wound up having printed onto fabric. And then I made a couple of bags and they have all sold. Everybody has loved his cat fabric. So that spurred me into reaching out to other neurodivergent artists on social media. And then I started collecting some artwork from them as I'm able to pay for the commissions, and then creating fabric and creating items. So next. So a little bit about me. I am autistic. I was diagnosed when I was 39. I started crocheting when I was, well, it was 2018, so it was quite a while ago. And then I learned to do Tunisian crochet, and I learned to do knitting, and then finally I learned to do sewing in 2020. So I'm pretty crafty. And basically, I'm just needing to try to get a business going so I can, do something with the items that I make, and also make some money to bring in to buy more materials to make more things. So my husband told me I need to get some things out of my house. So next. So these are some of the things that I create. These are my art that I create in Midjourney, artificial intelligence, and then I do post work in Photoshop, and then I sewed all of these bags. So that's the kind of thing that I do. I do focus more on the fantasy, the Dungeons and Dragons type art. I have a lot of dragons, unicorns, fairies, that kind of thing. Next. So I work with several different neurodivergent artists. Michaela Renee, she's known as Cheeky Geek out in the social media world. She did my tree frogs. And then Brianna Gray, we saw her video last week. She's Chaos Anarchy. And then Soft Goth is one of mine, did me some wonderful elves for the various fabrics. So these are kind of examples of the fabrics that I sell. I sell on Etsy, and I have my own website. And then the fabrics are also available on Spoonflower, which is the website where I have the fabric printed. So I get an order on Etsy, I submit the order through Spoonflower, they print it and send the fabric to the person who purchased it, and I get a small fee for that. So that's how the fabric drop shipping works. So I do 2 different ways of selling the art. So you see on the left, it's the fabric featuring the artist, the artwork. That particular, the cool swords are made by Haley Dietz. And then over on the right, you can see that I made an actual bag using the fabric. So I can sell the fabric, and I also make items with the fabric and sell the items. So I work with artists 2 different ways. Either we can do a commission where they get something when I sell something, or I can commission the item up front and then use it with a commercial license that they give me. So I've got artists that do both ways. Next, just some pictures from a Ren Fair that I did back in June. The middle one is supposed to be a video. I don't know why it's not playing. Oh my goodness. Sorry. UPS is here. Sorry, I apologize.
No
are you able to click on the video maybe? On the one in the middle?
It's a PDF. It's not letting me play anything.
It sucks. Okay, anyway, well, if anybody wants to see the video, I can send it to you. It was showing on the presentation when I did it. So it's just an example of me doing some in-person selling at the Ren Fair. I don't do very well with the in-person selling. I just don't know how to do things. Yeah. So next, I think I've got some goals for 2024. I'm signed up to do the Cedar Rapids Comic-Con in February. I want to get a TikTok channel going. I have it set up, or I'm working on getting a setup where I can do top-down filming with a camera so that I can make sewing videos. Right now, I'm just doing like slideshows of the process of making a bag. And I have a couple of videos out on TikTok, but otherwise I need to get a shop out there because I know TikTok shopping is really hot right now. I want to do the Cedar Rapids Farmers Market in summer 2024. And then I'm hoping to do a greater online presence and social media posts 2 to 3 times a week. Currently, I'm lucky if I get 1 post a week. So I just need to be better about doing the thing. And I think that that's everything in my presentation. So thank you for watching.
Awesome. Thank you, Victoria. Do we have any questions?
Is there a minimum order that you have to, for the material to be printed at the back end? No.
Nope, it can be printed by the yard.
And is it more inexpensive when you do a large order, or it
No,
doesn't?
there's no bulk discounts that I'm aware of.
Okay. And we had an artist go through the program. I know they had another market where they had to put in a minimum order to get their art printed on different things. So this is, what's the website you said that you use?
Spoonflower.
Spoonflower.
It's just for fabric.
Okay. Okay.
Victoria, this is Kay. I'm chatty, even though my voice is crappy. So I thought of another idea since I brought it up with Sylvia. You can also look into Twitch streams to showcase some of your techniques and things like that. There is a fairly popular community for streaming crafts and things like that as well.
Yeah, there's a sewist that I follow on there that I watch her streams sometimes. It's a good idea.
Oh, nice.
So I just wanted to jump in and say I love your work. I love the ideas behind your products. I love that you source from neurodivergent artists. And selfishly, I would love for you to make a wheelchair bag, but maybe that's just an idea for the ether. But I'm really happy to see you exploring different things. I know you said that in-person selling, was difficult. But I think that, or at least for me, being able to interact with the object still adds value. So I'd still encourage you to try even just small bits, bit by bit. I know that some of our other cohort members have expressed interest in learning more about the process of in-person selling and just in general techniques to be comfortable with it, because sometimes we know the steps, right? But being there and having the spoons and having to interact with people is a hurdle to overcome. But I'm really happy to see that you're diversifying and taking what the cohort spoke about to art.
Yeah, I have a sign that actually says autistic business owner, no haggling, because I can't with the haggling. They're like, will you take 30? No.
Victoria, I had a question for you. Is this going to be your first con, or have you done conventions before where you're selling?
I did a con up in Dubuque, Iowa, and I only sold one item. It seemed like people were wanting like copyrighted things like Marvel or Dungeons and Dragons, and I don't do copyrighted things because I don't want to go to jail. So, people would just kind of walk by my booth and look, and they wouldn't see anything like Star Wars or anything that they're looking for, and they just keep going. So yeah, we'll see how Cedar Rapids goes, because Cedar Rapids is bigger.
Awesome. And then we might have mentioned this before, but are there any like local gaming stores that might actively be hosting D&D sessions or anything like that you can maybe see if you can get your products in?
I'm actually in one. Yeah. Okay. So I think it might have been the very first meeting here.
I think it might be.
Somebody suggested that, and then so I reached out to them, and so now I've got a grid wall there and got some items. I haven't sold anything, but it's nice to just get the word out.
Yeah. And the last thing I was going to recommend is, have you thought about doing bundles? So, like dice bag and dice bundles that maybe you could work with other creators on, and then maybe that would, because I know like if I have one dice bag, but I have many sets of dice. So,
that's a great idea.
Yeah, I do custom dice bags. I did a set of 5 for a friend of mine for his D&D group. I just need to figure out how to like market that, like marketing a bundle. You tell me what your character looks like, and I create the art, and then I make a dice bag with your character on it. So it worked pretty well. They all liked it. So I just need to figure out how to sell that.
Oh, that's really cool. I could even see that being like something that would be super like unique for a birthday gift, or like a bachelor party or something, or like a bachelorette party if the group's like really into D&D or something. So I think the art's incredible, and the fact that you're not just printing it, but you're also hand sewing like unique things with it. I think that's just super unique. I haven't seen anybody doing that. I feel like everybody's like, well, I'm an artist and I don't want to deal with the product side of things, or I'm strictly on the product side and I don't want to do any of the art myself. So the fact that you're merging the two is really unique.
Yeah, I don't like making something that somebody else has also made, like having something that I've made look just like somebody else's. I want something unique. I want to carry a bag that nobody else has. And so I thought there must be other people out there who want something not custom, but one of a kind. So.
And I wonder if there might just be an opportunity to brand it slightly differently as well for different markets. So I know like you might have the fantasy and D&D focus for that market, but like a lot of the stuff I could just, I mean, a dragonfly crossbody bag, I'm sure the general market would be pretty interested in that because the design is really unique and pretty. So maybe, it might be worth just having multiple listings that just frame it differently and seeing, hey, maybe one does better than the other.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Let's try that.
Victoria, can I actually get a dragonfly crossbody bag?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll make you one. Yeah.
Awesome. I have a dragonfly tattoo, so that's why I was like, ooh.
I love dragonflies. They're so pretty.
And I'll commission, of course, but just yay.
Yeah.
And I've dropped a link for Victoria's website in the chat. So if anybody wants to snoop, you can.
Thank you. I should have put the contact info in my presentation. Didn't. But I'm on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, and then I'm on Instagram as well, Divergent Stitches.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Victoria. That was great. Next up, we have Nicholas. So Nick, let me spotlight you.
Oh, yeah. I love to see myself on the big screen.
Oh, you got this. All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hi, my name is Nick Comstock. I am the founder of Get Real with Nick. My purpose statement is shattering the glass ceilings of ableism while being in the same spaces as everyone else. Throughout my life, I have been told no, but I have managed to turn every no into a yes, from using an iPhone while overcoming vision difficulties, from now living into my own place. I'm freezing because I lost my spot. Okay.
It's all good. Take your time. Take your time.
I lost my, and I've been playing this all day. Hold on.
Okay.
As a public speaker, for the past several years, I've been on the front lines of disability advocacy, speaking at political rallies, on television throughout the state of Ohio, and national conferences. Oftentimes, people with disabilities who are motivational speakers are often looked at as inspirational porn. And instead of addressing the real issues that we face, we are often made to make people feel better about themselves while sharing our stories. My real, raw, honest experience, honest life experience okay, I'm totally freezing. My real, raw, honest life experience shows people that you can overcome, any obstacles that you may face. In 2022, I started my TikTok channel sharing my everyday life as a person with a disability. Since 2022, I've grown my TikTok following to over 50,000 people and growing. My goals for my businesses, excuse me, my goal for my business is to speak at national conferences, do podcast appearances, as well as hosting and giving interviews. My public speaking brand needs to be on stages all across the country to show the real, raw, honest struggles that people with disabilities face every day, while at the same time making the audience feel that they're chatting with a friend. My goal for my business in the next month is to interview a person with a disability while online and post it online, excuse me. As far as pricing, as of right now, my pricing is $100. I'm not sure, $100 per hour. I'm not sure if this is too much or whether it's gonna cause my target market to want to. Oh my goodness, I'm freezing. Do you have my, I hate to ask, do you have my notes there?
Yeah. Nick, I've got it pulled up. So I think pricing wise, you've essentially covered it. I think the other two things that you wanted to touch on were your connections with APSI and Oprah.
Or Opera. Okay. So my goal is to, I've spoken at the National Opera Conference, which is the Provider Alliance for the state of Ohio. I've also spoken at the APSI conference earlier this year, and I was recently appointed to their national board, which I will begin my service on November 9th. And I'm very much looking forward to that. I think that's it.
Yeah,
I'm doing all this from memory, so
no worries. Take a deep breath. You did fine. I think you covered all the points. I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions to clarify a couple things, okay?
Sure.
Just because I've got your script in front of you and I know what you might have missed. So can you talk about the services you want to provide a little bit more? I think you just kind of went through them a little quickly, but you mentioned three things.
So yeah, the services that I want to provide are 5 to 10 minute virtual keynote speeches. I'm working on expanding that to be longer keynote speeches. Virtual, I think, is the best move for me as of right now, considering all the lockdowns that we've had to endure within the last couple of years. And also I am willing to do panel discussions, as well as being a host of a panel or being a part of one that's up to an hour or more. Okay, can you go ahead with your next question? I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, those are your services that you provide. And I think that's essentially it. Nick, you covered everything that was in your script. So we can open it up to questions now. If you guys have anything you want to ask Nick, please feel free to chime in. Nick, I'm going to ask you the first question to get things started. But I know you're thinking virtual right now, which makes sense, especially since you're starting out and we're getting, COVID's going back up. So definitely the health concerns. Do you anticipate in the future being in person?
I absolutely do. I love being in front of an audience, in spite of what you've seen.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I love being in front of an audience. Go ahead, ma'am. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead and answer completely. No, that's fine. That's awesome. I think it was great. I have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
You have 50,000 people on your TikTok.
Yes. To be exact, I have 56,000.6,000. I just hit that. I just hit the 0.6,000 part a few days ago.
That's a big achievement. Tell me, what do you post? What's your
so
people?
most of my TikToks surround the struggles that I've had with caregivers and how we need to work on getting them better pay. Like I've said, I was on the front lines of getting caregivers better pay here in Ohio. I was also a part of another group called Bridge to Equality, where we established better pay for caregivers, and they've gotten a pay increase every year, I believe, since 2016 or 17. I'm not sure, but they will be receiving another pay increase at the beginning of January 2024. And so that is a big passion of mine. I also tell personal family stories, things that happened to me growing up, and really pushing the narrative that people with disabilities need to be involved in their communities and not just to be shoved in a room with a TV, phone, and computer. Because for most of my 20s, that's how I was. And so that's what has resonated with a lot of people.
So is the tone teaching, humor, or what is that tone that you use generally? The reason why I ask is because that might be the tone that you want to do when you do your public speaking engagements.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
So think
I said, yeah.
What kind of tone do you have in your TikToks? Is it like, funny? Is it serious? Are you teaching? What style are your TikToks?
I would say it's a mix of all that. I try to bring positivity, and I try to bring as much as a lot of frankness. A lot of people on my page tell me all the time that they appreciate how frank and honest I am, because they don't know if they would be able to do that. In fact, part of my notes that I missed is that a lot of folks with disabilities are afraid to speak up because they don't know how they will be received. They don't know if their message will be accepted, or they're just, quite frankly, too shy to do so. So I've been told that I've been a voice for a lot of folks with people with disabilities who either aren't able to have one physically, or they're just too shy to do what I do on a day-to-day basis 3 times a day. So
very good. I love that. And I'm sorry I missed the first part of your presentation. So what's the purpose?
So the purpose statement is to shatter the glass ceilings of ableism while being in the same spaces as everyone else.
But you're doing it fearlessly. That's what you just now told me.
Yes.
With no apologies.
Yes.
Build that into you, make it to stand, not just words, so that because that's who you are. You embrace yourself, and you are fearless in that embracing yourself.
Yes.
Okay, so that's very powerful purpose that you have adopted. And that is what is going to make people turn around, because they want to know what is this that he's telling that nobody else is telling us.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions, comments for Nick?
So I have a question, comment. This is Paula, by the way.
Hi, Paula.
I think you did an awesome job. I know that it's sometimes difficult to get everything across that we want to say. I think one of the things that holds a lot of value of what you do and how you do it is that you're not irreverent, but friendly and casual and approachable, and you always have humor and you're always on it. And I think a really important point is that honesty, is that you come into the room and sometimes it's not all rainbows and butterflies, and you tell us, hey, I'm having a bad day, or I didn't get enough sleep. I think that sort of honesty, and that honesty that you speak to your TikTok audience with will translate very well in your keynotes, in your panel discussions. So I think you're set. One bit of advice or just things that I noticed that might be helpful. And just from a lived perspective, I know that speaking in front of people, like having the setup right so that you don't have to struggle with so many things physically will help kind of ease the burden of presenting or make you less nervous. So if you want any tips or tools, that's kind of my wheelhouse. I've like scoured the internet for things to hold up your script while you're on camera, or different cues for different things. So if you'd like any of that, I'd be happy to share.
Well, the issue is with that is I have octave atrophy, so once I write something down, I'm not able to really read anything, even if it is large print. It's just I have nerve damage in the back of my eyes. So I've been trying. This is the first time in like 5 years that I've done a rehearsed speech, and with the exception of the other one that I did at Toastmasters a few weeks ago, this is the first time in 5 years that I've done a prepared. Well, this is called a pitch, but a prepared speech. So yeah.
I think you did awesome.
Good job. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
And I was just going to ask the room. I don't know if anybody else who's low vision or blind has any like tips or tools that Nick might be able to use to have a speech that he can reference when he's talking.
I definitely do. So I will get with you about that, Nick, on different tips and tricks as a blind person to help with presentations and stuff.
Yeah. You have my phone number. I sent it to you in a DM. So yeah, just text me or call me.
All right, gotcha. I will.
In all the spy movies, we have these actors having an earplug in their ears and somebody speaking to them and they're speaking ahead. Is that a possibility? Is that a viable option? Where you record?
Artie, that was one of my tricks.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I've just watched movies. That's all I know. But your trick is your trick. I would love to learn it myself, actually.
I'll teach you that too.
That would be great. My thing is that I don't want to have it. So this was really difficult for me because usually most of my TikToks are from straight from the hips. I shoot straight from the hip. So I usually just come to my kitchen table. I don't really have anything. I mean, I have in my head what I really want to say, but I improvise heavily when I'm on TikTok. Like I just started scripting some of my TikToks because I don't want to sound real robotic. So
that's great for TikTok. But I think, Nicholas, as you get into making presentations and public speaking, there is no public speaker who is not prepared. Anybody who says that I'm speaking impromptu is lying. Everybody spends a lot of time rehearsing, writing, and repeating themselves and pausing and doing it. So for public speaking is different, and a TikTok would be a different thing. I'm not a TikTok user, so I wouldn't know.
So I'm just gonna say, anyone who tells you that they're good at speaking impromptu, they're the kind of people who have failed at speaking impromptu before. They failed so many times to the point where it's a muscle that you train, like your brain's a muscle. So you can also make it quicker as well. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, I will tailor it to what, like I said, my keynotes will be 5 to 10 minutes. So, and then I'll tailor it to whoever I'm speaking for. But hopefully, with some more Toastmasters training and things like that, I won't be as nervous in the future.
Yeah, it's all good, Nick. And I see Alana has their hand up.
Hi, yes, I'm Elena. I apologize I missed the beginning of your speech, but perhaps since you are familiar with videotaping and recording yourself for TikTok, you could use that to your advantage to record yourself saying the things that you want to do and listen back to it, so that that is sort of your practice. You can just continually repeat it over and over and listen to yourself, watch yourself do it over and over so that you can get better each time.
Yeah, I thought about doing that for this pitch, and I don't know why I did, but you're definitely right, and I will do that from the beginning. And from here on out, yeah.
And Nick, here's just one out there suggestion. Maybe having somebody like Bridget read out your speech for you, and then you can actually maybe pick up on some of her inflections and how she presents as well.
I'm just gonna pay Bridget to do my speeches for me, and then that was fantastic.
Yeah, but awesome. Thank you so much, Nick. I think you did great. I know you had a lot of nerves going into it, but I'm proud of you, man. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. And then Niles, you are rounding this out. Would you like for me, I think you've sent your presentation. Do you want me to share it, or are you good?
I think I'll be good. Is it okay if I share my screen?
Yep. You should be all set now.
Okay. Can everyone still hear me and see me?
Yes.
Can everyone see my screen now?
Yep, we can see your full screen.
Okay. So, as you know, my name is Niles Valentine. I am the founder of Valentine Services and Products, LLC. And my purpose statement is handyman construction.
Niles, hang on. So right now, I think it just popped up. Never mind. You're good. You're good. Go ahead.
What's happening? Okay. So, it's my purpose statement is handyman construction and technical services and products made accessible, reasonable, and compassionate. So just a little bit about me. I have a college degree and 3 advanced certifications. I have a associate's in computer science, and I have 3 advanced certifications in full stack developing, robotic process automation, and web development. I also have 10 years of firsthand experience in the home improvement and IT industries, which is how I know exactly what is missing from both. In addition, my own friends and family are experienced in the real estate and entrepreneurial endeavors and own multiple properties between them. And so I would also have firsthand awareness of what those who own property and businesses would look for. That's how I know what the issues at hand are. So in the home improvement, construction, and handyman industries, I've noticed a gap that needs to be filled here. So there's a very noticeable shortage of reliable, efficient, reasonably priced, and socially conscious craftsmen and laborers. By combining all 4 of these qualities, I aim to combine all 4 of these qualities because I believe they're essential. So even though I have a very keen focus on the disabled community, being disabled myself, my business can be used by the homeowner, low income, middle class, wealthy, everything in between. The property owner, residential, commercial, private, everything in between. Really, anyone and everyone who uses infrastructure or technology. How many people here today have used infrastructure or technology today? I think we all have at least once. So what exactly do I mean by handiwork, construction, and technology? Well, everything you see listed here, residential infrastructure, sanitation, landscaping, renovations, whether it's small, mid, large scale, everything in between, grout, plumbing, electrical, roofing, HVAC, beautification, construction work. Well, that's architecture, carpentry, masonry, welding, mechanical tinkering, and technical development, website development, application development, software development, hardware development, robotic process automation. The list goes on. So these are my 3 main competitors. You might be wondering why I listed them out, right? So these are the 4 things that they are lacking in. Skilled and devoted craftsmen, reliable, consistent results, shrewd business management, and good public relations. I seek to deliver consistently on all 4 of these and these areas, and to bring a new perspective to blue-collar professions. Now, as for how I'm to go about this, a thorough screening and methodical screening process that focuses on real world experience and current viability, not what you did in the past, but what you are currently doing now. So a balance of experienced veteran workers and coachable and ambitious craftspeople. I want to be able to not only I want to make sure that everyone that we hire, we take care of so that they will be happy to work and serve the cause. So I made mention of compassionate, reliable, but also affordable. My pricing is the cost plus method. I charge you only for what you expect to receive, only for what you actually want to pay for. If you tell me that you want me to fix your toilet, I'm not going to fix your plumbing and expect you and charge you for it. To give you an idea. So as for my goals, currently I'm looking into purchasing 2 basic handyman toolkits and a van. This is what my first crew will use to fulfill any and all contracts and jobs that I successfully bid then assign. Speaking of that first crew, my first crew will consist of a general contractor as the chief and at least 1 crew member who specializes in each of the basic blue collar trades. From there, I say the next step should be marketing, but I really should be marketing once I hire my first general contractor. Now, I do plan to sign up for the Synergies Works grant. And if I get it, the most pressing concern at the moment is ensuring that I begin marketing properly and purchasing the best equipment possible for my crew of craftspeople to use in their work. Thank you guys for listening to me.
All right, awesome. Good job, Niles. So we can open it up to questions now, and I'm going to stop the screen share so we can see your face. There we go.
Thank you.
Niles, this is a very important problem that you're fixing. There is definitely a shortage of handymen, and affordable and reliable and
most of all compassionate.
And then you also want to get into software.
Well, if you're asking why it is that I chose to marry those 2 businesses together.
No, I don't want. I'm asking you a more fundamental question. What do you want to do first?
Well, what I mainly want to do is the basic handyman work.
Okay. And who do you want to reach out to? Because you cover everybody. I cover the wealthy, I cover the middle class, I cover the low income and everyone in between. But sit where you are, look around, and then tell me, who would you reach out tomorrow, day after, next month, next 3 months? Who would be your person who will hire you?
So I may mention that I have a keen interest in the disabled community around me, and that's mostly where I'm going to start from, because I know there's a lot of people who have disabilities. Then let's say they're on a fixed income, or they can't necessarily gain access to who I think that they deserve. And I think they deserve the best because I'm disabled myself. I know a lot of people who are disabled. I'm currently at my day job advocating for disabled rights.
What do you do in your day job?
I'm a peer advocate specialist
at
the communities at the Center for Independent Living and Community Integration.
Where is this? Which part?
This is in Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile, Alabama.
And so that's why I'm starting with the disabled community, because it's the community that I came from, and gotta take care of home first.
And more than anything else, they're invested in you. You know them, they know you. So your first client, whether it is their friends, family, or they themselves, there is a connection right there. So that defines your target audience. Okay. So I would suggest, instead of saying everybody, focus on where you want to start, how you want to start. And instead of saying, I want to buy a van, is it something that you do on your own as a handy person? Are you a handyman, or you'll need someone to do it? Is it your business?
So it is something that I do. However, I also understand that in order for this business to work, I need a crew behind me And I may start off doing the work myself alongside with them, but eventually I am going to have to move into the office as the word gets out and more people, are using my services, because I'm starting in the disabled community. But however, it will eventually expand, because let's be honest, it's not a matter of if you need this, it's going to be a matter of when you're going to need it, what you're going to need it for, and who are you going to get to do it.
Absolutely. So that's a great conviction, and that's all that is needed. But you have to start somewhere.
Right. And I'm sorry for not elaborating more on the keen interest that I had in the disabled community, because I did make that was my way of saying, yes, I'm going to start there, but in the future, eventually this is going to scale up to include almost everybody who uses technology or infrastructure.
So now here's what I'm going to say. I think at the end of the day, you have a lot of things you want to eventually be able to do, which is good. But I think when you're presenting yourself, like Arthi said, it's really important to have a clear, like, I need to be able to, in one sense, understand what you do. And if you told me you're, the go-to handyman for disabled individuals, that's all I need to know. I don't need to know that you can, fix my toilet and do my website. I think if you really make it tight and focus in on that, and I know you're saying, hey, I want to touch everybody at the end of the day. I don't want to just serve disabled people once I grow. At the end, 1 out of 5 Americans is disabled, and the people that they touch, you're talking about a huge portion of the population. And if I had no relationship to the disability space, but I knew that, hey, Niles Valentine is a handyman that works with disabled people and offers some exceptional service, I'm going to hire you for my day-to-day task, even if I'm not disabled, because I know that you're compassionate. That word that you said, compassion, is at the center of what you do. I think that tells me that just hearing that word, knowing you work with this community and you're dedicated to providing quality services to them, that's going to do a lot more than telling me, your 50 services that you're providing.
Great point, Shlok. And also, this business goes on word of mouth. When Shnuk feels happy and I need someone, he's going to refer me to you. I will believe him. So building that small base of committed customers, they will become your spokespeople. They will become your mic. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And yes, ma'am. So just make this a little bit tighter, and
I think right now I wouldn't even worry about thinking about who you're hiring down the line. I think focus on, hey, what can I do right now to get started? And maybe do it for a few months and see how it's going. Because maybe you're finding that, hey, you know what, I'm really seeing a ton of demand in the plumbing space. Nobody in the disability space can find a good plumber. Maybe that's where you focus. Right now, it's so broad. You're not, like what Arthi said, what do you want to do first? I think doing some experimentation, figuring out what's actually in demand is going to be very important for you right now. Because now, if you were like the go-to plumber for disabled people in the Mobile, Alabama area, that's a huge business alone.
Yeah, just a go-to handyman for there. And call me Arthi. I'm not ma'am.
Right, Arthi.
Yeah.
Just force a habit. I'm down here in the South.
I know.
And Niles, I do like the cost plus method. So I know a lot of contractors, builders, GCs are going to use that. I think if you're using that, it might actually be worth presenting yourself slightly differently down the line. Just something to consider that, hey, right now you're a handyman and you're doing these tasks. If your end goal is to have this organization, then maybe you actually position yourself as a GC that, hey, if you have a large project that you need, or even a small project, maybe you're the small project GC. That's, unique space. If I'm trying to get a general contractor to work on anything, they're not going to talk to me unless it's a $50,000 project. But if I need, some plumbing fixed in my house, it's a tiny project, I can go to Niles and he's going to help me manage the project. That can be a real differentiator once you grow. But I think first you need to start doing the handyman work yourself, get started and understand what's needed.
Okay.
All right.
That makes sense.
Awesome job. Any other questions or comments for Niles? All righty, folks. Well, that is everybody. How are we feeling before we close out? Can you all
So,
take it?
I made mention of applying for the grant here. Where exactly would I do that?
So right now we've got one grant open. It's actually for the Metro Atlanta area, but if you check the platform, we've got a grant section on there that shows all the grants that are active.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Everybody is exhausted from the day. Nobody's answering. I enjoyed myself listening to all of you, and I think it was so creative. Everything was so beautiful. I think excellent projects. So much of potential in the room. Fantastic job done.
It was really interesting to me and really important to me to see you guys develop from the beginning, where you weren't really sure how to introduce yourselves, to really coming into, this is who I am a founder, and this is what I want to do. That was an amazing experience, and thank you for making me a part of that.
Thank you for allowing me time to sit in too and hear the presentations. And again, if there's any way that I can help support, whether through networking or even, the products and services that we offer too, please do reach out. But all of you all did such a wonderful job.
Thank you, Mel, for coming in today. We appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. I think that covers it for demo day. I think we're all a little exhausted, but you'll get some communication from me and Paula. We always record demo day and we share it with the cohort and the people who attended. So if you ever want to go back and look at your presentations, listen to some of the questions that people had, you'll have access to that. We'll also be sharing everybody's contact information, since there's a lot of connections made today. So you can just, reach out to your fellow cohort members directly via email, or you can reach out to them via the platform. And then we will go ahead.
Sorry, finish. Then I have a question.
Yep. I was just going to say, and then we'll also be sending you information probably next week about setting up that business website, the business registration, and all that. So just keep an eye out for it.
Has everybody submitted their photographs for us to share them on social media?
Yes.
I was just about to ask that. I need to still, but I will get it. I promise.
Yeah.
That
so now
should not be too late, Kay. Otherwise, you would have lost the opportunity. This is our way of pushing out the stories of our founders. Mm-hmm. And it is for you then to pick them up and share them on your social media. When we are talking about web-based marketing and communications, then this is the channel that we really want to promote, because this is where you build in your contacts, you create awareness, you talk to your other folks who might be interested in your business or not. And whatever little part that we can play, we want to do that in promoting your businesses. And I know you're just on the journey.
And Kay, Dominique, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. If you guys have a nice photo that you've just taken yourself, or a nice cropped photo from something that someone else has taken, that'll be fine. It just,
Okay, cool.
A nice smile is all we're looking for.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, this wraps up demo day, but it's not the last you're going to be hearing from us. We'll be doing a debrief. You'll get a chance to talk to us, in the coming weeks as well. So have a great day. You all did fantastic. You should be proud of yourself. And now, take it easy. Enjoy your afternoon. Have a drink.
Bless up, everyone, and thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.